All right, guys, what's going on? Good afternoon. Welcome to Tommy's Breaks. But without Tommy today, he's got day camp, and honestly, I think the video I'm doing would kind of bore him. We're not doing any breaks because we can't find anything. We've got a ton of mail to go through, but I feel overwhelmed on that one. So I thought we would go over, because the baseball season is getting started on fairly short order here, and that goes very well with baseball cards, that we would just start going over some opportunities position by position. We'll look at the top 5 guys, throw out a couple of other names, and see if there's anything out there that is interesting. Empirically, the best players in baseball tend to make the best baseball cards, with exceptions of certain variations, errors, things of that nature. Looking at you, Billy Ripken, but yeah, so if you go down the top of the list, any draft board, you're going to see the usual suspects: Mike Trout, Bellinger, Yelich, Arenado, Soto, Cunha. Those are the cards that are the most desirable as well. So if we're able to pinpoint the top players in fantasy, it's probably going to be the top players in baseball, and we'll see how that works out. So the information that I use is from Fangraphs. Download that, then I input a points style spreadsheet. Assign points to instead of Roto, points to the projections. Roto tends to give benefit to one category players like Malik Smith, Billy Hamilton, things of that nature, which don't make very, very, very interesting baseball cards. We also exclude strikeouts, because if you look at the names of the top guys, I mean, they're windmills. They strike out plenty, but they hit the ball hard, and chicks dig the long ball. So that's how we go, and let's jump right into this. We're going to do the top 5 first basemen with a few bonus players, and the first player that will come up with the first baseman on the board is Pete Alonzo. Last year, of course, he hit the rookie record in home runs. This year, he's projected to see a little bit of, he had a 260 average last year, 53 home runs. This year, his projections are coming back just a little bit, 260 average with 17 home runs. Again, in the shortened season, that's going to extrapolate out to something in the high 40s. So a slight regression, but I think the projections still really, really like Pete Alonzo here. So, as a 280 BABIP, so we don't have a lot to go off of. Not a huge track record. So we'll see how he establishes that over the next couple of years. But this year, things are going to change in the next couple of days here. Typically there's another player that, usually there's another player that I would have ahead of him maybe. But 2020 being the way it is, he's a little bit down on the list just because projections don't have him playing a full season, but we will get to him overall. The next player on the list is Anthony Rizzo. So this is a person who's projected to have about a 280 average with 11 home runs. Batting average and balls in play kind of in line with career norms. So he should see a slight reduction from his batting average and ball in play. It was at a 290 level in 19. So it's kind of in his career range here, but they're looking for more of a I think he was 306, and they're looking for a drop. And so that is the explanation for a slight reduction in batting average from that 290 last year to a 280 projection this year. Home run to fly ball rate is normalized to 20%. And his medium and hard hit balls, 44 medium, 37% hard hit. If he can get that 37% hard hit rate up just a little bit, then we could see a little bit of uptick in the stats overall. But this is a pretty solid player that, when healthy, is top 3 at the position. And again, first base. Well, not again. First time I'm saying this. First base, kind of a dumpster fire. You have your guys at the top, and then it gets ugly real fast. So don't sleep on this position at all. So speaking of dumpster fires, Josh Bell's second half, he on fire in the first half. It was really amazing what he was doing. So he's projected for a 270 average with 13 home runs. Batting average and balls in play, looking for a slight reduction on that one. In 2019, he tripled his home run total. From 2018, he went from 12 to 36 or 38 or something crazy here, and he doubled his isolated power as well. So look for a slight regression in the home run rate, and look for that batting average and balls in play to come back down just a touch here. So his isolated power, again, around that 300 range, which is very, very elevated. For him, home run to fly ball rate 25%, but he was hitting the ball very hard. So if he can return to, the first half probably isn't what he is, but neither is the second half. This is a very good player that could be the third or fourth first baseman off the board here. Reese Haskins. Josh Bell's so good, I wanted to do it again. All right. Reese Haskins, a player that's projected to hit 240 with 10 home runs. This would be an actual increase over his 2019, where he had about 223. So batting average and balls in play sitting around that 270 area, which is fairly standard. That's not anything. When you have players with batting average and balls in play with that's very elevated, 350, 400, look, basically it's a metric that says you might be getting a little bit lucky overall. So look for some regression there. So his average is down again 20 points from the year previous there, but the home runs were similar. The home run to fly ball rate was similar. He increased his hard hit rate. His infield fly ball rate did jump from 11% to 15%. His infield hit rate dropped from 9% to 5%. And so if he can get that medium hit ball, again, he's sitting around that 38% level. In medium hit, he's usually sitting around 40 to 45. If he can jump that up a little bit, hang on to that high hit area, then he can return to his form a couple of years ago where he was doing very, very well. So we can increase that 240 average, maybe just a little bit, and maybe hit a few more home runs. So he's not far off, but he needs to make a little bit more contact to get some of those shorter hit balls out into the outfield a little bit here. So the fifth first baseman that we'll be looking at is Mr. Paul Goldman. And after all these, I've got a breakdown of all their cards as well, prices, things that you can be looking for, and all that kind of good stuff to spot the opportunity. So we'll just try and fly through this, and then we'll get to the spreadsheet with the card prices. So Paul Goldschmidt's been around for a while, so you kind of know what he is here. Projected for 270 average, 11 home runs. His BABIP last year was sitting around 302, and he hasn't been up below 340 since his rookie year back in, 2010, 2011. And so his average was down quite a bit from what it normally would be. Went from 290, and again, that was one of his lower numbers as well, into that 260 area. So we should look for an average to kind of creep back up. His power output is pretty solid. His strikeout rate has held steady. It's gone up a little bit, but the last couple of years it's been steady, and he had good power numbers last year. So again, we're looking for that average to rise, and if you can maintain the power, then this is a guy that, again, he's already top 5, so he could creep up a couple of more spots here. But with Paul Goldschmidt, you know what you're getting. It's a solid player. I think some people would say, hey, it's a good middle infielder. With third base, who knows? But as far as pure first baseman fantasy, that's a good player. So again, slim pickings here. So those are your top 5. Let's get into a couple of bonus players, because I think these guys could easily be in the top 5. And the first one I'm going to point out is Matt Olson. He hurt his hamate bone last year and came back, and it didn't affect him at all. Some guys have a problem coming back from that kind of an injury. He did not. He had 50, about 100 fewer plate appearances than he normally would, but he had 36 home runs. He had the 300 BABIP, and so this year the projections have him sitting at a 250 average with 11 home runs, so they are expecting some regression in the batting average, which makes some sense because that's a high BABIP for a power guy. Overall, his isolated power is about 277, so again, a little bit high. Home run fly ball rate was sitting at about 24%, which is fair. And his medium hit rate was 34%, but his hard hit rate was 50%, the highest on this list. So when he makes contact, he really, really makes contact. So again, this is another guy with high strikeouts. But again, a lot of these guys, almost all these guys have high strikeouts. They're all within a couple of each other here. So, adding those in, it's kind of an apples to apples. So I think we could account for strikeouts, I suppose, in something like this. But overall, I wouldn't, because then you're going to get a lot of contact guys. And, again, that's not going to help you a ton in the fantasy game. And the high value cards, again, those are filled with littered with high strikeouts. So I don't think that's as big a deal as it's made out to be. Real baseball, sure. Fake baseball, not so much. All right, Freddie Freeman. Now, this is a player that's one of my favorite players. Could easily be number 1 on this list, but with contracted the coronavirus, so there's some question as to about when he's going to start. If he starts opening weekend, then this is your number 1 player for me at the position. I would take him. I would take him all day, number 1 at the spot here. But again, with the concerns, it's just what we have to deal with here. So you know what you're getting out of him. He's a beast. percentage last year to this year, whatever he did last year in percentage terms, as far as home run percentage and fly ball percentage, all that, it's going to be the same this year. It's been the same for a few years. His home runs maybe go down just a little bit, but again, it should be your number one. If everything was equal this year, if he was healthy, but he's not. So we got to drop him outside that top 5 with the information that we have right now. But yeah, this is this could be the number one, and I feel just silly putting him down here, but that's how it goes, I suppose. So finally, we'll wrap this up with Carlos Santana. Last year was a career year for Carlos Santana, so he had a 281 batting average, 34 home runs, and so the projection systems have him hitting maybe 260 with 11 home runs this year. That BABIP was his highest as well, so they're looking for that to come down. Isolated power was his highest. The home run to fly ball rate at 19% was above his the previous couple of years, where he's around 11 or 12%. So he really took advantage of that of the baseball of the different baseball last year. So I don't know if he's pulling the late stage Jose Bautista and changing his swing to put more balls in the air. It'd be smart if he did so. He can hit, but I don't know if he's going to really do what he did last year. That was quite a display from Carlos Santana. So all right, let's go take a look at some of the cards real quick. And here we are. I'm not very good with editing, graphics, all that kind of good stuff, so I apologize, but I think we all know what these cards look like for the most part here. So when you're looking at these cards, it depends on what kind of a collector you are. I'm not an investor, a flipper. I'm a collector. I'll only get a few of each card, one for me and maybe a couple for my boys as they get older. But we're not after the fancy parallels. We'll get autographs when they make sense. As far as a PSA 10, we're pretty happy with PSA 9 or ungraded. If they look nice, we're happy with them. I don't need someone to go in there with a jeweler's loop. God bless the people that do that. Not for me. So if I wanted a PSA 10 of a Pete Alonzo, I could spend a couple $100 on it. I'm super happy getting a really nice looking base, or if it calls for it, a PSA 9, and then have plenty of money for other stuff here. So this is pretty cheap entertainment. So Pete Alonzo 2019 Series 2, we all know that set. We know what that card looks like. Great card, iconic card. You can get the base for $5-6 shipped. You can pick up a chrome for a couple dollars more. If you want to get into the graded area, you're going to spend about $70 for a PSA 10. These are eBay completed auctions, and some of these prices are a little bit all over the map. You'd see, for example, Pete Alonzo, you'd see like 65 to 75, so just kind of in that area here. So keep an eye on it if you're in that range. Your golds, do like to get a numbered card because of the production increase. That devalues all existing cards, and so you go back a few years when print runs were a little bit lower in some sets. You're starting to see Topps print more and more, and so to hold the value of your cards, especially players that you like, getting something that's numbered with a static production run, I think makes some sense. So a gold Pete Alonzo, and this is a raw PSA 9, you're going to see something in that 90 to 100. Seen some slightly lower and some that are a little bit higher, 110 to 120, but in that range is probably pretty good here. And a chrome autograph. Raw will cost you about $120. Anthony Rizzo, 2011 US update. Probably the best player to come out of that update set. There's no one else I think that came out of that's worth a damn. So anyways, don't buy the set, just buy the individual card if you go on Anthony Rizzo. Base cards can be $10 to $15. A PSA 10, quite a jump here. I don't think chrome is really an option then. $150 is what I was seeing here. Gold will run you 30 raw, so that's actually pretty interesting. A couple of the variations that I like in that set is they had a diamond border and a cognac, and a few other things. And so if you're able to get a diamond or a cognac, it's going to be a little bit more than this, but those are pretty slick looking cards here. Chrome autograph again. I don't think that was a thing there. Josh Bell, 2017 Topps base. I didn't even put the numbers in here because you're talking about a buck or two. So the thing that I would do on these, if you're interested in these players, find lots. Find someone that's selling, and this is how I end up with lots sometimes. Like if there's a player I want, I don't want to spend $1.25 and then a couple bucks on shipping. It's like, you know what, I'm just gonna buy 6 and pay a couple bucks in shipping or something like that. I feel like I get a better deal out of it. Average price per card goes down, and then have a couple to give away. So Josh Bell base is a buck, and so just find a lot if you can. Chrome, same thing. I was seeing those for under $2 here. PSA 10. $25 a gold, not a whole lot of examples out there. Around $10. I was seeing more gold waves that were going for $20. I figured, well, regular gold's got to be a little bit less than that. Didn't see a chrome auto. Same thing with Reese Haskins in 2018 Series 1. That set is on fire here, so I don't understand why people are sleeping on it. But anyways, the base, again, you're looking at a buck, chrome, buck or two. And the PSA 10, you can have that for about $20. Gold is going to be about $10 again, and I wasn't seeing much in the way of chrome autographs. Paul Goldschmidt 2011 update set. Okay, so fine. Rizzo and Goldschmidt, those are your 2011 update guys, and no one else, nothing else. So again, what a weak set overall. All right, $15 for the base, not a chrome option. PSA 10's about $60. You can get a gold for about $50. Gold for Goldschmidt. In the chrome auto, and wasn't seeing much in the way of that one. Matt Olson 27, free PSA 10, $25 gold. You can get that for about $20. You can get his chrome autos for $20 to $39. Again, I'm seeing those all over the map here. I wish I could narrow it in. All I know is I was buying them a while ago for $8 a piece. So they're steadily going up, and this is a guy that could be your best first baseman in the AL. I mean, look at the rest of these guys here. Here's your best AL first baseman. He could be that way for a little while here. Freddie Freeman, best name on the group, and it's reflected in his price. His 2011 update series. Excuse me, just 2011, not update series. $5 to $10 for a raw rookie card. His Chrome's gonna be $10 to $15. PSA 10. A couple of weeks ago it was $100. Recent sales are already upwards of $120. So maybe his doctor is getting in on buying his cards. He knows something, like he's going to play. Who knows? But there's been a decent spike in his PSA 10 over the past couple of weeks here. His gold you can get for $48, and those parallels, those cognac diamond, just a little bit more than that. So I think those are cards to target for Freddie Freeman. And of all the guys on this list, I mean, he's the most expensive, but I think that's the one. I mean, this guy's going in the Hall of Fame if he keeps this career. The other guys have some more work to do here. Or I should say that there's another first baseman that should be way up here. He's eligible at first base, but he's more of a spot starter. That's Cody Bellinger, and I don't know if he'll make the top outfielders or not. But I'm throwing him off the first baseman list so these other guys get a shot here because it's just not a good group. All right, chrome autograph, you can get that for around $100 for Freddie Freeman. Again, some variance on that one. Could be a little bit lower, a little bit higher. 2010 Carlos Santana, free. Gold, $5 to $10. Chrome auto, didn't think it existed. So of all these guys, I'd like to see a little more track record out of Pete Alonso before I started getting into this area here, although I did get into this area a little while ago. But these other guys, it's like, yeah, it's maybe worth a shot if Josh Bell can maintain his my dog approves. If Josh Bell can maintain his current trajectory, and if Matt Olson can put together a couple of years, I mean, those are kind of the ones that interest me the most. You kind of know what you're getting out of Goldschmidt, so I don't know how much the prices rise out of that one. Freddie Freeman, again, probably Hall of Famer, so those prices are likely to stay elevated, and they could appreciate a little bit. But these are the guys, I think Olson and Bell are ones that can maybe provide the most upside. So, all right, I like doing this. I had fun doing it. I thank you for your time. I probably went too long, but sometimes I get talky. So have a good one. Appreciate it.